Well, hello. It's another Monday, and we're continuing our steps in the journey. And this one is exciting because we had Rob and Kelly Fabian with us for chiropractic work here in the area. We took them to about 5 different Mayan villages where there were pastors, Independent Baptist Church pastors. And so we were able to not only do adjustments and see folks leave having walked in with canes, carrying the canes out, but we had the opportunity of seeing 22 people come to know the Lord as their Savior, which was the purpose for why we had Rob and Kelly down. And of course, the follow-up can then be done by the pastors of those local churches in the local villages, which makes it a wonderful combination. So they're not dropped, just because they accepted Christ, they're not dropped between the cracks. And so they'll be following up on those. And I checked with the pastors to make sure they were going to be doing that. And then when Rob and Kelly, of course, came back, we took them back to the airport, and when we got to the city where they flew into Cancun and then went to Puerto Morelos, which is the city that they actually stayed in, they met an individual, a woman by the name of Elisa, pray for her, and her son Felipe, and found out they were Christians. He did an adjustment on her neck, and she couldn't turn it. And so when he did that, many people came from the restaurant that was there and different places on the street and wanted to have their things adjusted as well, legs and knees and so on. So Rob did it, but he found out they were Christians. So we went back by to meet them and found out that they were Christian. They invited us to come back in April when they come and for me to preach for them at their family gathering. So understand, this is a tourist city, so most of those that are there speak English. Spanish is also spoken, but most of them speak English. So I go on and preach it in English, and it's a wonderful opportunity. But when we got back from the airport, we went by the Institute, which is in Cancun, to see Pastor Hernan, and found out with him that I'll be teaching some Greek classes there for the next 10 weeks, beginning here in the first part of March through May. And found out that he has a man that he knows of that's there associated with him and his church and so forth, that his brother lives in this city. And so he's very interested in starting a church in that city. And so it looks as though the first church plant will be there in that city. And we're excited about that, to see an actual iglesia started, which of course is the Spanish word for church, our word for the day. But before all this, a week before, Brother Terry Jones with BIMI had contacted me concerning the fact that there was a couple that wanted to relocate in this city here in Cancun, or near Cancun, about 30 minutes out of Cancun. And they wanted to live there, but they wanted to know that there was a good church there. So it all is kind of falling together. And some months ago, before we actually got moved down here, I asked Pastor Patch where he would like to see a church started, and he named this same city. And so it appears as though the Lord is wanting a church in Puerto Morelos. And so we're excited about that, excited to see what God's doing. So pray that direction and continue. That's really what is keeping things going here, is the prayers that you are doing back home. And hopefully this will help bring you up to speed a little bit with what's there, but that's not the end of the story. We didn't even get to the villages and what God's doing there and the interpreter. That's next Monday's video. So please continue to pray. Thank you so much. Thank all of you for your support and for the things that God's doing.